I think maybe that's where South Belt should be looking here. If it was me, I would be aiming to pick up something like a Mirana that can just jump away from a Spectre because it's not like she has anything that can lock you down. Yeah.
Mirana.
I mean, it's good at killing the egg. You can get away from a Spectre. And then, kind of different from what we saw last game, is that I thought Wayne's positioning was pretty bad, to be honest, on his AA. Like, so many times he was caught just in the middle of a team fight, not in the base. And when you had that Void combination where you could have got a nice Chronosphere Ice Blast off, it just never happened because the AA got picked off every single time, ended up 1-14 or something like that. So I think I think this AA positioning needs to be completely on point. But it's going to be a struggle to see how he's going to survive because even a Glimmer Cape, dust is all you need to be able to kill beyond that.
10
And
seconds remaining.
all right, they're actually going to pick the Dragon Eye. So it's
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, you
Radiant
are into your
team
Ancient Apparition, which is going to give you a great way to deal with this tanky hero, and we're even going to get to see the Faceless Void picked up. So some similar heroes to what we saw in our previous game here.
Mm-hmm. I think they just need massive damage with their last pick. I would be very surprised if we don't see an Invoker come out here with the last pick for Bob. He's very strong on the hero. We've already seen the puck is banned out, so it's not going to be that. Of course, all the spirits are there, but I don't think that's quite enough damage that you're going to need to burst down the likes of a Spectre inside of a Chronosphere. Of course, also having all of that magic damage, really effective against the DK as well. But that Venomancer makes life kind of hard for this Void. You know, he's going to be somewhat slow in the laning stage, assuming that he is against. You would probably assume that he is, right? Phoenix being the position 5. Venomancer doesn't really do quite as much against the Centaur.
It definitely is your specialty. You're a big fan of the Veno. Plays at a 5 though. You been playing the Veno a little bit, or kind of out of the wheelhouse?
When it was on
lately?
my cavern crawl, I do, just to advance forward a little bit there. I mean, it's just so nice, especially. I mean, I'm going to be referencing pubs here, but you essentially get like a free observer ward. Like I'm not a big fan of placing a sentry up on the high ground. You always want to place it because that's the obvious place, right? You want to place it in between the high ground, so it's just clipping the area and covering as much usable ground as possible. And then all you need to do is pop a plague ward up there. If there is an observer or a sentry, it's free D wards, and it potentially gets you. Them to spend a lot more on sentries to try and counter, thinking that you've got an observer ward up there. So I like it. I like it against the Faceless Void as well. It's just how are we gonna it's great against the Void in lane, right? Because Time Walk's gonna do stuff all against the Venomancer's slow ticking damage, and it just causes you to spend so much more on regen that you might not like to. Later on, that again, I'm just going to go back to it. They need damage. They need just massive amounts of damage so that when you get that Ice Blast off onto a Spectre, you kill it. Like you need to kill Spectre within that Ice Blast duration, because outside of that, there is no way that you've got enough damage.
Are there other routes we could see them go for instead of the Invoker? Like, honestly, actually, Tiny looks pretty decent paired up with the AA. I think scaling potential if you want Aghanims for the Chrono is relatively decent. Is there any other kind of heroes for Bob mid that's going to offer them that burst?
Well, I feel like the Tiny can be fine, but also if Venomancer's on point with his positioning, all you need to get off is like one spell onto the Tiny, and then a big part of his usefulness is being able to reinitiate, and so you're not going to have that Blink Dagger potential. So I don't know. I'm not feeling quite as strong about the Tiny. I can see how it would work in a vacuum, and they're going to go with a Magnus instead. So just putting, I mean, it is more damage, I suppose, that you're going to be able to use to take advantage of this Chronosphere combination. But I mean, it's Void and it's Ice Blast and maybe an Arrow. But is that going to be enough if it gets super late? I don't know if it is. And well, Abat, he has not spent all of his Gaben bucks. He does not have the Arcana. A little bit disappointing, to be honest.
Also, quickly taking a look, it's actually Jobeezy playing the support here. So Samael is picking up the offlane Centaur. So heading into it, we were kind of expecting to hold the roles that they did previously, but they're gonna switch it up. So we'll see now how Samael is able to fare on the 3.
They bumped them all up in priority as well. Like Zenki, he was a 5, now he's the 4, and then Job Easy just slots into that 5th position.
Well, how are we feeling about this? We get to see a last pick Treant Protector for Cignal, followed up by Bob's Magnus here. Do we feel like one team has a favorable time in this game 1 after the draft?
Was Wyvern banned? I feel like it would have had to have been. Because it's like the counter to Faceless Void, basically.
Yeah, have to imagine it was. Honestly, I cannot remember.
Yeah. And I think they banned an OD as well.
Yeah,
I
they
think
did,
maybe
yeah.
that was South Build that did that. I'm not sure. But the Treant Protector's nice as well. You know, you can just make sure you're getting off that living armor onto people. The heal might not do all that much, but the extra armor might be what's needed to be able to turn things around. What am I going to be looking out for here? Probably seeing if Eris is able to get a decent timing on his Blink Dagger as well. I feel like just having that Blink Overgrowth is going to be so effective against the likes of the Faceless Void Magnus combination. So I think if they could get that, that's going to be plenty to secure a decent laning stage. Sorry, not laning stage, mid to late game. And then once it gets to the late game, I just don't see where the damage is going to come from to be able to burst through him.
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be our last series with an instant pause. We get to see how these teams are going to be able to situate themselves. Again, I mean, I feel like the storylines just improve that much more now with a Bart going back over to Cignal. You know, if he can, you see Bob tipping a Bart instantly. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's give him some tits. Again, this is the roster that Cignal Ultra looked really, really strong on. And again, also for Southbill, as soon as a Bart joined them, they had, I think, they were 3-0, maybe even 4-0. Oh no, I think it was 3-0. They started off the second season of the lower division for Southbill with that new roster of a Bart. So, we'll see how this is going to be able to fare with the different iterations of these rosters, but I'm incredibly excited to see. Of course, Bob is one of these high playmaking hero players. He's on the mag here, so going to be a little bit more greedy. Do you feel like that might cost them here for Southbill, because feels like they're going to rely pretty heavily on a decent blink timing from Centaur to get active?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just going to be so hard because they don't even have that great tower taking potential on Southbill's side, right? Like the Centaur needs to be able to just stand there and use his Retaliate to do the vast majority of the damage, but beyond that, they're going to be playing a super passive game, just wanting to make sure they get all of these wards up around the high ground, these little choke points, so that they can potentially get the turnaround. You know, all you need is one good RP Chronosphere to be able to potentially give yourself that little bit of an extra advantage. Yeah, it's just how much space are they going to be able to create on the map, and then if they're playing this super passive game, is that not just playing into Cignal's hands, because they got the Spectre, they got the Phoenix, they've got the best scaling this game.
It definitely does seem like their team fight capability is going to be at another level where you can just protect the Supernova at such a high rate where you're even looking on Dire, like they don't have the greatest egg hitters. I mean, Mirana's one of the better supports, honestly, to be able to deal with the egg, and I guess Mag, we'll see Bob wants to go for the Echo Saber, which is definitely going to be important, but it seems like this is a game of like, you were highlighting that Blink Dagger for Treant Protector. If you don't get the Blink at a decent timing, then Stampede is just going to be such a nuisance. You reset the fight, get out of the Supernova, then you can go back in and kind of take a fight on your advantageous position here. So, all eyes on kind of the timings that's going to come through. I feel like we got a game where it's going to be very, very important on these big fights.
I'm keen to see if Cignal, like, again, this is the roster that has had the most success together, this combination of 5 players. So are they going to kind of click back in together immediately and have a lot of impacts? We could potentially see the likes of a quote-unquote bad Supernova, but as long as the Treant Protector's in position to get that overgrowth off, it could actually turn things around and just create a fantastic kind of team fight for themselves. And then, all Van needs to do is press R, and then he's basically done his job in these team fights.
And taking a look at the lanes as well, it doesn't look like we're going to see any battles by the bounties, but I am really, really worried for this Faceless Void. When you're going up against a Venomancer, which is one of the better offlaners to play versus the Void, and you've got a Treant Protector as well, this double slow lane, he's got Orb of Venom on Eris. I just really struggle to see how Bensoy is going to be able to get CS. And you take a look at what Eris has done as well. He dropped a very deep Absorb Ward, recognizing that it's important. We have to get the favorable lane set up. This is kind of the reasoning why we picked the Venom to lane versus the Faceless Void. So I really like the setup that Cignal have already shown with.
He's already starting to punch into Jabeezy.
Yeah, this is... I'm just super worried for them in this lane.
Also, just looking at this draft, is this not just what Dota was about 9 months ago, these picks?
Just
Void
team fight.
Magnus. We saw a lot of Venomancer. I mean, in the first series even, we saw Slardar, which has fallen off a fair amount as well.
Just, we still got some of those meta heroes, like, AA's there, DK's there. But yeah, you're right, like some of these other heroes getting picked up a little bit more frequently now throughout the day.
I'm just keen to see a new draft, new patch rather. Like it's been too long. I understand that you can't really just drop one on them, super late into the piece. But as soon as these quals are done, as soon as China or Western Europe are done, I want to see that blog post come up straight away.
Are there any like key things we feel like need to get taken care of? I know Black was talking about the Holy Locket. I think everyone's been after the major bringing up the fact that Holy Locket is pretty nutty on some of the percent heroes. Is there anything else that like really stands out?
Give me a bit. I'll have a think about it.
See, mid lane, how's Bob and Jamesy going at the moment? DK's only got 3 last hits. It's going to be a bit more of a difficult time for DK, I think, to last hit, considering Mag's advantage here with the damage. But this is going to be very interesting as well, because Jamesy's going to offer a lot of tower taking a threat here early, whereas the Magnus is definitely a hero that wants to continue getting a lot of farming stacks and kind of just playing in the lane. As we do see first blood though, up top, Eris with the help of Van, gonna get the kill on top of Jabeezy's Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, I mean, you basically just can't move anywhere on this. Like, even Bensoy, he walks forward, he cops a right click, he's probably dead.
And he's dead, yeah. Like, this is the lane. I do not see how they play this lane.
Punch?
I'm not sure.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
They
looks,
don't.
like,
That is the long and short of it. They do not play the lane. I mean, you even just saw before he died there, just the positioning of the Nature's Grasp was really good by Eris. Just getting that straight line across the lane between where he was farming the creeps. You don't even need to always hit the Faceless Void with the Nature's Grasp. You just need to make sure that he's stuck on one side and make a choice of, look, do I just give up this entire creep wave, or do I go for a super ballsy play and then risk dying? And, well, that time it was both.
and now, like, you're already seeing how rough of a lane it's going to be. I think we have to put the emphasis on as mid lane, Jamesy. Skewer under should be fine, but of course, it's a lot of harassment. Melee matchups.
And so he's dead again.
Oh, even bot lane, Grims just falls. That is a big kill, and Jabeezy as well might take a little bit of damage, but the creeps are going to aggro together. So we see Grims, he does fall bot, South built, able to pick up their first kill of the game.
Not sure how he didn't see it as well, but Jabeezy, he placed down this sentry ward, but didn't actually de-ward the one in the small camp. That must be a super secret little hidden spot there.
How are they looking?
Oh my god, they even had to use a smoke to get him back to the lane faster.
Oh, that's no good. That's really no good. It's... I mean, you now just have to keep up with stacks, and this is where I actually want to see Radiant make an early maneuver, like maybe even think about smoking up solo on a support to block the triangle, because you already see where there's a... I believe that's a triple at the hard, triple at the ancients. This is how they come back into the game. Maybe Radiant don't even care. Maybe they're just like, let's let them stack, and we've already got, the high experience and high goal we're getting from the kills. We can just contest the stacks instead.
Well, yeah, why not? All you need is the breathe fire from the Dragon Knight. You use probably even don't want to use the Fire Spirits. You might even not want to reduce the damage. Hell, just get the Blade Mail ticket in onto all of those once Spectre finishes them, and she's doing a pretty good job in lane. Number 1 on the net worth right now. Faceless Void sitting well down. And Tree and Protector is above him on net worth.
Are there any lanes that... I mean, it's going pretty well for Bob, but even bot here for Samael, it looks like it's going relatively well for him. But like you were saying, I mean, Spectre, he seemed pretty happy. He's actually going Blade Mail for a bar. I was a big fan of the Blade Mail build last game for In Your Dream. What do you feel like... do you like the Blade Mail instead of like the Echo?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it gives you some sort of jungling potential if your lane doesn't go that well. It means that, I mean, even if the Void gets the Chronosphere onto you, as long as you pop that Blade Mail, hell, even just the passive damage with the Sunray being loaded in over the top, you can oftentimes just kill yourself. Speaking of the Void killing himself, he might be in a position to die here. Does have the Time Walk. It's going to be enough, though. He is a slow boy.
They're going to have another Plague Ward. Great position from Joe Beezy. Eris is level 4. Like... Oh no, this is... How many deaths he got? Oh, he's got 3 deaths. Oh. I mean, he's going to go Morbid Maw, so at least it will allow him to farm the jungle. Bob as well with the Empower, but this is now like dire. They are now all...
He's dead.
Another one? No, not another. This is... Like, what do you do here, Danog? It feels like you're just all on the Centaur early blink, and... Yeah, he's going to go Hood into phase. He's already got the Vanguard, so that Blink's not going to come out at too fast of a timing.
No. Alright, let's see how this changes around when he's got the mask heading out to him. A little bit of lifesteal.
It's a nice kill. Jamesy will fall. What was that? RP skewer onto the tower to set up with the arrow, so they do even use Stampede for that, but nonetheless, whenever you're going to get a kill, you'll take it here for South Built.
Yeah, good amount of gold going their way as well. Zenki actually moving out instead of getting this next stack off onto a large camp. Maybe just wanting to reveal himself in lane, not give away all too much. They tried to get the double stack off. They do get the Ancients one, so that is massive. But Bobby's not having any issues here with being able to pick this one up. Oh, that vest could be huge for the Faceless Void. I would give that over to him ASAP.
So what's he... Is Mag holding it? Yeah, he's still gonna keep it now. Greedy.
I don't know about that. You need it. You need it so bad.
Broom's not too bad, but yeah, you're right. Like, he's gonna want that vest. Maybe he's okay because he's got the Morbid Mask, I guess. At least HP regen wise, but the vest is at least gonna help him with farm.
Well, it helps him with farm, but also just the passive 5 HP regen against a Venomancer is huge.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Easy getting dived down here again. Eris, he's forced to walk around in the trees. He's already got the medallion of this position 4. I'm liking his build as well. Just prioritizing the laning stage. That Leech Seed, 2 points, gives you the maximum value out of it. Doubles the damage between level 1 and 2. And then he's just going to go full on into the Living Armor, realizing that that's probably the only way that Southbuilt are going to be able to come back into this game with any kind of authority, is if they do get, you know, this amazing Chronosphere off. As long as he's in position to protect with that bonus armor, with the heal, it should be okay.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, how's our Centaur going? Put a little bit of pressure on the tower.
Well.
Yeah, we do see like Southbuilt, the rest of the team is up there. I mean, Mag top of the net worth, Centaur second as well. So if they can get time here for Void. Oh, Arrow Zenki catches it. Can they get in there in the nick of time for the follow-up stun? They can. Centaur with the double edge is going to be able to bring down the Phoenix. That's the second death here for Grims. And that should be now the T1 tower claimed down belt. Although Eris is going to TP in, but looking to just... Is he going to go for a deny? Actually, maybe even a kill. Samael falling really, really low. The tower will end up dropping, so they're not going to get that extra damage required. He'll miss the arrow. Nice sidestep from the Tree Protector.
I'm a little surprised that they let that go so easily. You've got a Tree Protector. You know, that's kind of your job, is to make sure that you're not losing too much of this map. So, I mean, hills, towers, everything kind of go in the way of this offer. I mean, Samael's doing a great job, considering that he's not naturally a position 3.
Yeah, maybe it's the greedy aspect of a Bart's build not going for the haunt here. I think, honestly, I'm kind of nitpicking here. Like, you could have got a rotation out of anyone else, but you're not having that. Might have been able to help out there to be the +1 factor.
That Empower finally given over to Bensoy. So with that broom handle, Morbid Mask, he's going to look to try and just regen himself up in the jungle
Dire's
here.
structures are fortified.
Alright, who takes this ancient
Dire's
stack?
middle tower
Mag or
is under
Void?
attack.
It has to be Mag. Like, or maybe they're just leaving it for quite a while, but you got to be careful with doing that, right? As if you leave it for too long, Spectre's going to be in a position to just take it. But you can see here, Mag, if he was going the Echo Saber, I would feel a lot more confident that, yep, he's going to take it. And honestly, that would probably, if you went Echo Saber now, take you halfway towards picking up your Blink Dagger anyway.
Yeah.
He's going to try and take it. I guess with a chip vest, you're going to get massive value out of it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And I actually don't mind Bob's itemization too. He's gone for that blink first. So I guess they've definitely communicated with Centaur going for a lot more of the tanky build instead of the ways to start the fight. So Mag's going to offer that up with this blink rush, which is going to be very, very farmed after this fat stack.
He's a thick boy, that's for sure.
Well, how do we feel about this game? Because I was very, very worried with Bensoy's lane, but it looks like the rest of the other lanes for South build has actually gone pretty swimmingly. So how are we feeling about this start?
I'm just thinking, like, what's actually going to end the game for South build? And it's the Faceless Void, right? He's the one that's going to be doing the vast majority of this damage. Spectre hasn't been contested all that much. Apart got out of lane when he felt like, look, I just can't be in a position to get Arrow Stomp comboed. And I feel like he's been doing a pretty good job with that. So he's farming pretty safely. I'm always just concerned about a Spectre being able to overrun, especially when you've got a Phoenix backing you up. You can see, though, with that Blink Dagger now picked up on the Magnus, he'll be looking to go for an RP. Just the skewer's going to be enough.
That was perfect precision. Skewer back into the Vortex, into the Arrow Ice Blast. Bensoy's coming on over as well.
Oh, nice.
The Chrono finds two heroes on the edge. Van's going to end up losing his life. They'll drop the Supernova in a very good spot. Southfield, they've got to retreat away with the Overgrowth too. Locking in Samael as they'll end up finding 3. Bob as well actually might get brought down. Poison over Sting, still ticking him down. Is it enough, Bob? He needs a strength thread. It's going to get the blink away. No, just tick thanks to the Fire Spirit positioning from Grims. And they hit back. The team fight's coming into play from either side. But it's Cignal Ultra with these extra rotations to protect this tier 1 tower.
Is the fight recap still on your screen?
Yeah, I got mine. What's up?
So you saw Venomancer got caught in the Chronosphere right at the start of that, right?
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
All he did was press R. That's all he did. It just hit onto everyone. He got a triple kill, and I think he had his Plague Ward. Like, there was one Plague Ward up towards the back of that fight, because the Poison Nova's non-lethal damage, right? So he was just microing that Plague Ward to just get one hit onto every single hero that was affected by the Poison Nova, and that was enough for Van to just clean up with the triple. He even has the Fairies Trinket, goddamn, so he has plenty that he's able to dish out.
And this is a big issue. Like, you take a look. You've got a Treant Protector, which thrives on keeping towers alive early, and a Venomancer as well. This is something that we saw, TNC when they had that run at the Major where they were able to win it. They, KP and those boys just had such a understanding of how to play the Veno. You take that early offlane tower, then you go mid, and you just literally posture yourself here. Like, how do you take this tower? You have like 3, 4, 5 Plague Wards set up, a Treant Protector as well that's going to heal you up. You'll get your ultimate off pretty much all the time as Centaur. He's got Stampede. He should be fine here. He's going to go run towards the rest of the team, which actually end up bringing down Van. So Centaur, with the space, enables them to kill off the Veno.
Didn't have his ultimate, that's why. Couldn't press R.
God damn it. R too strong.
You can just see here, like, the difference. I'm kind of surprised at how underleveled Van's Venomancer is. I suppose he died, so he wasn't able to get all that experience. But compared to the Centaur, he's like 2.5 levels behind, which is pretty shocking. The big spike in damage that you get from moving Poison over from level 1 to level 2 is pretty enormous.
How's Bensoy going? He's alright. He's getting there. I mean, yes, he's, I say all right, he's your bottom of the net worth in regards to the cause, but
Radiant are scanning.
if he can, as long as they,
That chrono was on point.
Yeah,
like
that
he
was-
did his job in that previous fight.
you do see, like, you've got this steroid, and whenever you have Chronosphere available, they're going to look for a fight. They're actually smoking up, heading towards the triangle, where they might run into Jamesy. He's in a very awkward spot. Blink away. Yeah, that was the sentry positioning. Jamesy, great reactions.
A really nice reaction. A little surprised that they didn't pop the haste rune on Bob here to try and chase. This courier could end up going down. They actually spot him with the courier vision.
Ogre?
Oh.
You got to be careful this time. This is really deep. Ben could pop poison over instantly out. He hits multiple heroes now with the fob. Haunt in. Eris has got the overgrowth once again. They're going to drop the RP, but it's a little bit too late to catch the Phoenix. So with the supernova committed, they've got to disengage. A haste will give Bob the movement speed to get back to safety. Now they've even got the Stampede as well to help out with Samael.
Nice arrow.
Jamesy, blink on forward, hoof some. Actually unable to get the Dragon Tail.
Yeah. A little surprising. He didn't Dragon Tail, he didn't Fire Breath. That was a dead Centaur that he just gave up completely. And you know, considering how good of an early game Samael's had, that would have been a huge kill.
Just feels like if you cannot burst the Veno, you have to be so careful with how long you want to take that fight, because the team fight, it's showing there, and it's really worrying because, I mean, Eris now has a Solar Crest, and we probably going to see that blink next item, honestly, and we've already seen how incredible his overgrowths can be, and it's just going to get even better once that blink gets picked up.
Actually even blinking forward to get this combo off onto a butt. Maybe trying a beta rotation coming out here, but they're not going to bite, realizing that on his own, it's not going to be enough. There were other heroes revealed in lanes, so maybe that's what he was mostly concerned about. They're all just going to walk their way down.
Chrono dropped here. Be able to catch up the Venomancer. Arrow on the mark, and you see when the ultimates are on cooldown, they still have that Chrono as well down, but it does mean that Samael is away from the team, so Centaur's going to end up falling. Are they going to be able to come mid and... it looks like this. I mean, Tower's still full HP. I mean, it's 17 minutes in, and it's just... now it's going to continue to get so difficult.
Middle tower is
The benefit
under
of having a
attack.
Treant Protector, right? You don't need to be there. That's what I love about these heroes. Like, again, I want to see more Nature's Prophet in these sequels. You don't have to be at every single team fight. You just need to be able to have an impact from the other side of the map. And even just like the trade, right? It was offlaner for offlaner, but when a Centaur's dead, he's just dead, right? When Van dies, he had about 5 different Plague Wards that he's leveled up to max set up there. So they had to deal with those as well before they could actually, you know, make any kind of impact onto the tower. And that was when the Dire had a siege creep. So that had a high amount of potential to take that tower that just resulted in nothing.
How do we feel about the itemization here for Ben Soy? He's actually going into a Maelstrom after the Asher. Do you feel like he needs kind of this farming steroid, even though he has the Magnus?
I don't mind it, just because it's going to be some damage that's going to be able to get through all of the armor that they've got, both just passively on the DK as well as with the living armor. You're going to have the Solar Crest on top of that. So a little bit of magic damage is always nice. They're going in on Van
Okay,
again.
mid.
Really, he is enemy number 1.
That he is. This time they will bring him down, and Ben's not going to drop that ultimate there. So, I mean, again, you're seeing how many deaths is that? That's 5 deaths on Van. Meanwhile, they've also found the Spectre away from the team, but is this finally going to be the time where South Built can crack this tier 1 tower? I mean, Radiant, they're not set up just yet, and I think they might be able to do so.
Structures are
I think they will. I mean, it's still super early on. Van's going to be up in another 13 seconds, and you've got that max level Nature's Grasp. James E's here just with the end of the DK
Easy.
ulti though.
The Celebrity get the Ice Blast, and they melt through, but a great supernova to the western side with the Overgrowth. They're going to try and bring it down, but the leap on forward is the attack speed enough. It's not! Supernova pops, and now they can look to turn a Centaur. He'll attempt to TP out. Will he make it? No. Triple for a bar. This Spectre getting involved thanks to the Haunt, and again, they keep that tier 1 tower alive.
a gift from the night.
Saving Private Tower. Do you want to give him a name? Look, he's even got a little face. It's the tiny one. Let's call him Rocky.
Rocky? Alright.
Dire
Rocky the
are
tower.
scanning.
Man just does not drop.
He's been hitting the gym as well. Look at those boulder shoulders.
My dude's huge. Is there a scarier tower than Mr. Rocky? I don't think there is.
I mean, wasn't there... It seems like Radiant have theirs, but the Dire ones aren't there. Or is that just... The person running the server, I guess, like, has only the Radiant side keyed in, if that makes sense. Because there were Dire ones, right? That threw things as well. These are just spitty boys.
Yeah, mine are the dragons. So I think it's different for, like, it's just personal. There's some cool tower skins, though. I'm a big fan of the tower skins.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of dope. This game's looking very, very even as well. 1,000 net worth lead. Hey, guess what? T1 Tower. We're already about 2/3 HP. They still got Gale. How long's the cooldown? Overgrowth back up. Supernova up in 15 seconds. So South would actually have to be really careful if they think about collapsing onto the tier 1 mid once again.
They should be able to see that Jamesy, again, his ultimate is reaching towards the end of its duration. So they might be trying to set up for a kill onto him. He's going to have the presence of mind to TP straight on out, though. But that means that, again, nothing's accomplished on the map. And sure, that's going to enable the Faceless Void to pick up the farm even further. But I feel like, considering the good laning stage that the Spectre has, it's just resulting in her slowly creeping more and more ahead.
Smoke up. South built once again looking to try and crack the
Not
tier 1
bad.
tower mid. Who else but Van?
He pressed up.
Does at least get the ultimate off, but there is no follow-up here. Alright. Well, Haunts up in a couple seconds here, and, well, they get another pick off, man. This is just... Van
They
is...
know that Observer Ward in a good place to be able to spot out all of these rotations. Pretty
they see
ambitious
Bob.
Moonlight Shadow.
They see Bob. Haunts out, Sunray. Are they going to be able to bring him down with the percent damage? Great RP with the BKB4, but the Ice Blast at the last second. Supernova's on the higher up, but the damage is starting to stack up. James, he will tick on forward. Bob gets the skew away thanks to the magic immunity. So it's a 1-for-1. A lot of ultimates committed there with the high ground. That is all she wrote as the cores get back to safety.
Rocky's still alive, though.
That's the main
He's
thing.
living his best life. For now. They've got a full creep wave. They haven't had time to set up with all of these wards on Van. You can just see how much more defensive he's playing.
Oh,
here we go.
Oh,
Let's
not
queue
again.
up.
Arrows up the mark. It might actually cost him. Got to keep in mind the BKB is also on cooldown as well. With the Chrono followed up, Arrows just going to try and waddle in forward. Living Armor still on cooldown, but it's not going to matter. A bar will rip apart the Faceless Void as Ben Soy and Senki. They try and make a cute play underneath the tier 1 tower, but it's going to cost them, and it might even cost them Roshan as well.
Very well could. You got that Solar Crest available, and with all of that damage that was being able to get off towards the start of that fight, I think he got the Venomous Gale off there on the Venomancer. It means that Bob wasn't actually doing any right-clicking during all of that. That was the big weakness that we were highlighting during the draft, right? You can get off amazing Chronosphere, but where's the damage? Where is all the damage going to come through afterwards? And it just wasn't there. He had to TP back.
Gale doesn't stop the blink.
He had the fight.
He's in trouble though. Ameo. But they get away with the ages here. Honestly, this game just feels like we're watching a replay. Like, it's just a constant recap of these mid fights. Everyone is just, they're going head to head. It's constantly the clash around mid. Maybe we can pick off Van. Oh, we can't. We get turned around with all the ultimates. It costs us our life. And somehow though, it's only 1,000 net worth lead.
Yeah. I mean, what's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same
Yeah,
thing
same
over and
thing.
over again and expecting a different result. And, well, the result hasn't really changed all that much. At least the Faceless Void and the Magnus, of course, are continuing to farm. Void slowly but surely creeping his way up there in terms of the net worth. I think it's he's not going to be able to get the Skadi before the next fight because the Spectre, she's got her Skadi. They've got the Aegis, and Spectre's going to get level 20, then they're going to go. That is a huge power spike for them, just having that extra 400 HP. You can see just Abart's positioning as well. He's wanting to make sure that he's consistently farming, taking away a lot of this jungle from South built, and hell, even putting the threat onto the tier 2 tower on the top side. Don't know about that glyph though. Very premature coming through out from Cignal. It won't actually clear out this creep wave, which means that Cignal, he can just pop himself down right here and be totally fine. Who's TPing in? Is that Phoenix?
Oh, they're actually going to look to take the fight head on against Southbill. Haven't been able to bring down one target just yet. With the blinking forward, if they can deal with the Ancient Apparition, but the cold feet
Nice arrow.
sets up for the arrow. Chrono on 2, but where's the follow-up? Bob, he can move on forward with the RP afterwards, tries to get a multi-hero skill, but the RP hasn't used it just yet until now. They'll deal with the Aegis first life here on the Spectre, still with the Supernova. Not being able to kill off Van means to have to retreat back to safety. As James is in trouble though. Dragged away from the rest of the team, it's a 1 for 2, make it a 2 for 3. As it just burned through Grims out of all the heroes, gets a triple.
You gotta love the Phoenix. I mean, all of these have been really solid supernovas. Not a single egg has died throughout all of this, and this is when you've got a decent team at being able to take it out. You know, you've got this Faceless Void, good right-click speed, you've got the Marana, of course, with the leap, but just never seems to happen.
What's Bob doing? Just Bob things?
Just chilling. Level 20. He's got that increased skewer range, which is going to be really nice. Make sure that they're out of position, not able to get the Sunray in onto them from a defensive position. Maybe force the use of the Icarus dive out, so you don't have the escape potential. You know, you might be forced to use an earlier than ideal Supernova, which I think that's the thing. You need to take out this Phoenix. Phoenix is winning them so many of these team fights.
Oh, he's got the Aghanims.
Who dis?
Phoenix. That's no bueno for Southbill.
Yeah.
What are we up to now? It's 10 attacks. He's level 16. Oh no. 2 more levels, and then he's got that 18. We've already seen how difficult it is for Dire to kill off the egg, and now he's even going to have the extra benefit to the Aghanims too.
They found Eris here. I wonder if they're gonna... They're so scared of committing at this point. Honestly, it probably is the best time to do it. You know that there's no Poison Nova, you know there's no Horn, you know there's no Supernova. Yeah, it's gonna be available in 15 seconds, but if you don't commit onto this tower, it's just gonna get healed up.
We've got a repeat. Jump on Van.
There's no
Ultimate
R,
on
though.
cooldown though. Bit unfortunate. What's happening up top?
Radiant's bottom tower is
Eris
under
just
attack.
keeps on healing that tower. Keeps on keeping on.
Haunting, a bot. Great use of the Stampede. We saw previous game, the Spectre really trying to identify the issue of the Ancient Apparition. It's going to eat a point blank arrow.
RP.
Bob? He's going to be careful now. BKB into the RP. Eris sidestep, a great position for the tree protect. Now with the BKB completely wasted. Eris's tree has been so on point this game. The sidestep to lock him in. They also are able to catch out Zenki as well with a wraparound from James's Dragon Knight. And wait, do they know Bensoy's here? Oh no, Bensoy. He might be in trouble. Blink. So we're getting ticked away, unfortunately, for the time dilation. So Bensoy is able to make it back to safety.
Oh boy. It's not looking good. I mean, they're just they're forced to use all of these spells in a non-ideal situation. Like that RP was a result of Bob trying to save his AA, who was basically dead. You know, you don't need to care about Jobeezy at this point. He got his Ice Blast off. That's all he really needed to have happen. There's no real Roche threat, so we're not that concerned about that. And again, the tower survives. As soon as Eris is available, he's going to heal that one back up. Poor Rocky did end up eventually dying, which, you know, we're sad about that, but it's the reality of the situation. You know, all things can't last forever.
I like this item from Van. Broken Disc. He's gonna make sure he gets that ultimate off. As long as you get ulti, maybe a Gale, and maybe a Spirit Vessel as well, then your job's done.
I do really like the Ag Shard this game as well for the Venomancer. You're against 3 melee cores, right? They're always going to be in a fairly clumped up position where you're going to be able to get that off, and that'll spawn, what, 6 Plague Wards just on its own?
Keep bumping their heads against these towers. Van?
Arrow?
It's the
Found
arrow.
him.
Instant stampede. The teams are coming over. They don't have the haunt just yet, so Bart's gonna have to TP in. Van somehow still alive. It gets the ultimate off. They haven't been able to kill him just yet. Now with the chrono.
Good chrono.
Dropped onto 3 with the Ice Blast 4. They're gonna try and commit onto James. He put the egg.
He sucked him in.
It keeps him alive, but can they bring it down fast enough? They can. Finally, the Supernova will end up falling to Beezy. With the help tipping over Grims, they recognize the importance of dealing with that Supernova. And now with the Spirit Vessel's out as well. Bob RP counter up from Eris with the Overgrowth, but this time it's not enough. Finally, South Built, they'll be able to crack the code. They've been bumping their heads time and time again against Cignal Ultra underneath these towers. But they will be able to bring down 4, and you see the importance when they can kill off the egg. The fight looks so different.
Yeah, I mean, that time around, that's just a great chronosphere, honestly. Connecting onto 3 at perfect range. They got a little bit lucky with one of them, I think. I don't think they had complete vision at that time. But it just means that everyone's able to focus in onto that egg. And that's going to be what turns it around for them. Finally, perhaps, this tier 2 tower will be going down. Maybe. They do. They get it.
Bottom tower has fallen.
But all chat? Joe Beezy's feeling confident after that team fight victory.
You love to see that, you know, one single team fight goes your way and you're like, "Oh, I knew it. Never in doubt, boys."
Oh, after that fight as well, take a look at the net worth. I'm so surprised because Cignal were honestly winning like fight after fight. Yeah, they were losing like, you know, maybe 1 hero, Van, 8 deaths in particular, but now South Built, they win 1 fight, get a tier 2 tower. This net worth has just swung so far in their favor.
Oh yeah. And with that as well, I mean, they were able to get the kill onto Spectre, which is the most important part. That was the first death that you've had all game for a Bard. He's been playing a pretty fantastic game so far. I wonder if he might change up the bullwhip, you know. He's got... Actually, he's finally been able to switch it out. He's got the Elven Tunic now, so maybe just realizing that, okay, I'm now at this point, especially after that death and all the gold going Ben Sawyer's way, where I might just be in a bit of trouble if I get caught out in a not so ideal position.
Centaur's not the easiest person to bring down. Like with the Spirit Vessel Sunray, a lot of percent damage, but look at him, barely tickled. Stampede away. Bensoy's going to blink on forward here, Van. Drops the ultimate. Aeon Disc going to protect it for a short duration. Bob's actually going to skewer him away from the Faceless Void, but it's also away from any backup. Bob picks up a DD, gonna try and look to turn. The arrows in the mark,
nice
but again,
arrow.
can you bring down the Spectre? Heart just completed. It's gonna be very difficult. He's looking to turn. Chrono gonna end up getting dropped on both the Claws. Grim ready and waiting with the Supernova, who is gonna be able to save. A great use of the Overgrowth on the high gun as well. But now Bob follow up RP! It's on to multiple,
he didn't get him.
but they drop the egg. They're gonna try and leap in forward. Do they have the attacks to be able to bring it down? They don't! This time it's gonna end up going through as a Bart gets a double.
Oh man, they ended up getting the kill onto the Tree Protector, but just saving the Dragon Knight on a sliver of HP. Even keeps the Dragon form, so he's gonna have about 5 seconds or so to continue hitting on this tower. And they used everything. Everything except the Ice Blast was used, and they know it. They're just gonna keep pressing their advantage. Kinda slow Roche respawn, so not gonna get super lucky with that one there, but it just shows the impact of not having everyone caught inside that Chronosphere.
Cignal would have loved if that Roshan was up as well. 40 seconds until the respawn. Tier 2 tower claims. Grim's level 20. He's got that plus 5 second supernova stun duration too.
And you would have to think that with that second one, it would be the Ag Shard going to the Phoenix, right?
He just bought it actually.
Make sure you can... Oh, he bought it.
Well, who we feeling potentially?
No faith in the team's Roche potential. Wow.
I guess it just shows the importance, though. That Sunray in these fights, like it could be devastating through during the supernova.
You wouldn't give it to a Bart, would you? And then if you get ice blasted from a long way away, you're like, you know, call an ambulance, but not for me, and then just disperse onto him if they caught out you.
But the AA, James, he has to pop the BKB to eat the arrow, but hey, guess what? There's just a measly old DD in front of the Roche pit. What more could we be asking for?
Yeah, Bensoy, he used his TP, so they don't have vision of him, I don't think, so they don't know exactly where he is right now, but you can just see he knows to make a beeline towards that Roche area, just in case it's being taken. Clear out this wave. Will it be too slow, though? Arrow actually ends up connecting in onto the Roche pit, and They launched out the AA blast yet? Not quite.
Bensoy on top of Van. As long as the Veno's able to get the ultimate off, but there's the Haunt. Skewer drags him further down to the southern side. It's going to catch away James as well, but on top of the Reaper. I mean, Centaur's just getting ripped apart. There's absolutely no help with the DD on Spectre. They can't man fight him. So they're going to have to try and take this team fight a little bit differently than before. The brute force potential that we've seen from Southport's not going to work. They've got to kite the Spectre. A buyback's going to come through from both the offlaners, Bob. Oh, this is big. If they can bring him down, the Aeon Disc is on cooldown, Van. That's a dieback. They will not have the Venomancer for this Roche fight. And they're actually going to think about now walking up the high ground. Still Chrono available.
Got the vision, being given by that Ice Vortex, making sure the arrow's there, not necessarily to catch out on anyone. Could they get a nice skewer here? I mean, who's the target that they want? Not a Spectre. You cannot take him out. Yeah, he's in a bit of a shaky position. He bought back.
He needs help. Skewer actually drags an illusion, but Jobeezy's okay. Oh. Is that going to be all for our Roche fight? Roche is really low. Bensoy's going to see this, actually.
Yeah, he's happy to take it. He didn't have to use Chronosphere. You've still got all the core ultimates up here. Not sure about Bob, but he needs to get to this team fight ASAP.
Roshan has fallen to the eternity.
Who
I
got
wouldn't
the
be using that axe shot if I was you, Marana. It is terrible on you.
Oh, I thought he ate it. No, alright, give him to the void.
He's going for the bait shot. You know, just wanting to make sure that he can go in, zip right on out. If he can force some BKBs, some big ultimates to be popped, yeah, that's his job, basically. It feels like Bensoy's got a lot of jobs this game, though.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind, though, like, this was he 0-4? I know he was 0-3. I don't know if he was 0-4, but the fact that Bensoy is top of the net worth right now, and the chronos that we've seen from him in this game, has been really, really on point. Like, I've been very impressed with his plays so far. Yes, he's kind of getting enabled to keep up in farm because of the help of the Magnus, but they've definitely brought this back into their favor after the lane that Bensoy had.
What just happened? I think the DK cancelled his TP, so they're just going to lose this for free. He's close to picking up his Aghanim Scepter, and he's also going to be farming around this 37-minute mark, so potentially some tier 4 items to come, but he's got to make sure that he's not caught out of position. He's farming underneath this observer ward that's about to expire.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A bar?
Okay.
Wait, they're really disconnected on Dire. There's no Void, there's no Marana as well, so Centaur gets ripped apart, or does he force back left, right, and center? Sumail makes it away. Oh, so close. Pawn? Is he actually even committing the ultimate? A bar? Now he's really disconnected from the team. Where's the help? Jumps back on over towards Jobeezy. I hear a supernova down to the southern side. Faceless Void has got no help of the team. Now with the RP on top of the river. The Spectre needs help screwing further up to the northern side as a bar. He'll fall the instant tip from his old teammate in Zenki.
Oh, I feel like there's some malice in that tip. Just instantly coming out saying, you think you can kill me? You think you can focus it on me or my teammates? I don't think so, buddy. I mean, most of the time you see people playing with, like, you know, a dot stand-in, all that sort of stuff as well. Nah. Instantly going to the Cignal dot, making sure to remove all traces of Southfield from his name.
Top lane? Well, they tried this previously. Blink's on cooldown for Centaur, and I think this time he's dead. No Stampede, no Blink. I mean, he's got to... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, you got to have a stun. The Jobeezy. It's just even, you know, mid-Centaur dying away from the team. They are coming over. It's just Marana.
Not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's percent damage is there from Grims, and you see Jamesy with that Aghanims as well. Yeah, he's down for 120 seconds. You know, see the classical oopsie all chat Jobeezy. He's making sure the enemy team knows when Roshan's gonna, when the age is gonna expire.
We got 2 more minutes, bros. You know, we're good. It does leave them a little bit of a window, though. I mean, Spectre's up in 20. They're going to have a good minute and change to be able to try and make something happen, but well, not without DK ulti. Might make things a little bit difficult.
How did he know Van was there? Aeon is popped now. It's got Ghost. Is there a way to get him back on the high ground? Bensoy's even committing on forward. He's going to drop the chrono. Sunray, living armor, giving him a little bit of health back, but they will still end up falling, and he actually doesn't have a buyback. But there is your chronosphere committed. Pop another! He's going to catch out Jamesy, instant BKB. It's a 4-on-4 at the moment, both teams not having their offlaners. Bensoy getting aggressive with the time walk forward. He can't backtrack now.
But a couple seconds.
Again, disconnected from the team. As long as they can kind of cancel the blinks, but they're doing a very good job. He's going to go in with the RP, but there's no backup at the moment from Abar. He's getting kited, jumps back over. Bash is going to be there on Joe Beasy. He'll be able to bring down the Ancient Apparition, but they need the damage from the Void. He's going to be careful, though, this Blade Meld Dispersion, so Bensoy recognizing, I can't do it directly with the Spectre. Let me catch the other supports instead.
I'll be real, this feels a little pub-like. You know, people are just, you know, zipping around everywhere, doing their own thing. You know, some guys trying to 1v5, thinking, no, I'm a beast. But you know, at the end of the day, Dota's a team game, and it feels like whoever's had these team engagements has been the one that's...
Sorry.
What?
Wait, is he in trouble here, actually? Aegis for 15 seconds. He's only got Mirana. Bensoy's going to be really careful. This is quite greedy. The slows are there as well. Time walk up in a couple of seconds. He's got a long range of that distance. They do have the outpost as well from Dire. They'll have to commit the Stampede. Jamesy with the follow-up, but unfortunately, he's unable to catch Ben's.
I think he should have been able to. I mean, he hit him with one of those right clicks on the Dragon Knight. Like, he had nothing left. That should have been a dead faceless Void. But, it's a lot of stuff happening, that's for sure. And I do want to highlight, I feel like Bensoy's itemization's been really good this game. This isn't a game where you want to go a BKB, because it feels like you're committing so much into something that's only really good against stuns. And how many stuns have they got? They got one with the Dragon Knight. So Manta style, Satanic, so much more effective, especially with Satanic having that dispel component. So not only do you have that survivability, but you can also purge off the likes of your Overgrowth, your Venomous Gale, your Fiery Spirit Slow, and you got two of them. So I'm really liking that from Bensoy.
Oh, Southfield have accumulated about a 15,000 net worth lead now as it drops down, but do you feel like the net worth lead is showing in these fights? Because Cignal is still kind of holding their own.
I was about to say, it doesn't feel like a 15k net worth lead to me.
Look how aggressive they can play. You highlighted kind of the lack of stuns, and they could just have two heroes so far away from the team. They'll jump on Van. Chrono committed. Again, it's only on one. Eris on the backline is actually going to get caught, but now with the Overgrowth. You said early to not be able to protect the Supernova. Let's see if it's going to cost him. Egg on top of the high ground. Now with the RP follow-up as well with Spectre. He's vulnerable at the moment without the help of the team, but the Egg is going to end up pop. No, Void is in trouble. The Sunray burst. It's enough. They'll finally be able to bring down Bensoy. The Samael is going to attempt the TP this stun a little bit too late. So South built too cocky. We've seen time and time again this game in the past kind of 5-7 minutes that the Centaur, you know, the Faceless Void positioning has been up in the face, but this time they will get punished.
They will, and even if he buys back, I mean, you don't have a Chronosphere. You need that to be able to set up for the AA blast, which, again, 35 seconds until that AA is going to be back alive. And with this Elder Dragon form, he's going to continue pushing on forward, maybe trying to get a kill here onto Samael. You've got the massive slow coming out. The Trickster's Cloak going to help. Still with no tooltip for the buff, but, you know, game's in beta. Look at that. Look at that annoying little Plague Ward. Just making sure that you've got that tick damage coming through onto the Centaur.
Buyback.
Use the buyback. You just run.
You got to get a lot out of this. And now Bensoy's going to be careful if they collapse actually on top of the Faceless Void. But trying to stand his ground in man fight. Samael falling really low. The Sunray Spirit Vessel. The Heart's going to do absolutely naught here. Centaur will fall. He doesn't have a buyback. Now it's all on Bensoy. But he's disconnected from the team. And the Faceless Void just brought back and he needs help. A Time Walk going aggressively. He's going to backtrack on forward. BKB pop. James is going to be able to stand his ground. But the Bash is there. Where's the help? Bensoy. The stuns are lacking. So instead they're going to try and jump on the supports. As Mirana's caught, they've got the detection and they're able to bring him down. But an instant buyback. Bob's going to be up in 5 seconds, so Cignal, they've got to be cautious of how long they want to stick around. But that is a big window now. You force the buyback on the Faceless Void. There is a win condition here now for Radiant.
There is for sure, and it kind of felt unnecessary. You know, the game wasn't going to end if you lost one lane or Axe. You know, I feel like they were in a position to be able to potentially contest that. You didn't have the Chronosphere available, so I mean, I feel like they've just thrown the window wide open for them. He's going to try and go for a kill here onto Grims, and he'll probably get it with a little bit of luck there from Gaben. Now, he's going the Nullifier. I guess that's to try and burst down this Venomancer with the Aeon Disc.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what else the Nullifier can do.
Ghost Scepter on Tree. That's about it.
Yeah. I guess getting rid of the Solar Crest as well on someone, but yeah, I think it's more the defensive supports, recognizing like you got to kill a Phoenix and Tree as well. Like it's just look at the cores. Spectre's got 5200 health. Like even Void's got 4k. Centaur's got 4500. Mag's got 3500. Like there's some beefy boys, and then it's just the supports as well. Speaking about them, they don't have the Phoenix, so they definitely have to be cautious. There's the buyback coming into play, but now the RP is solely on one. Bensoy is able to rip apart Van, but he's at least able to get the ultimate off. A buyback instantly with the Chronosphere drop. Eris, great use of the E-Blade. He's able to protect off the Dragonites, and now with the Chronosphere completely wasted, that's a lot of their ultimates on cooldown. And now you need to be able to protect the Faceless Void. He bought back previously, that might just be a dieback, and it is. Void down, 120 seconds on the deck. Bob's gonna tap the TP out as well. Do they have the damage go through? They do not. Is he gonna tick out in the base? Bob has to eat the Fairy Fire, but no Faceless Void, 110 seconds. You won't have the Centaur as well. Here is the win condition for Cignal Ultra.
I don't know. Do they go the safe play? Roche is up.
Just what I've been waiting for.
It's big Roche.
And the worst part is, like, he was in the overgrowth and he got caught by the stun. He had Satanic. It was off cooldown. You could have gotten out of that overgrowth if you wanted.
I don't know if they can contest this. Brady got really good vision. Roche is already claimed, so they've got a Delta split away. Which would be easy. Oh, no. Well, poor old AA.
Just back.
He's just pulled back. So
Back for what?
Oh, you got to deal with the lanes. You see instantly. Mid getting shoved out. Great awareness from Bob and Zenki. They might even look to push in bot. They do have a catapult at that side, or they're going to look to cut top. They don't have glyph. They're Jeff Beasy.
That's a throwback. You love the throwbacks to, like, your own trash talking. And Spectre's gone and eaten up the Shadow Step, so I don't think it's going to be impactful this game, because I feel like it might not be over, but it'll be close to over before the AA is alive again. But you just can't show yourself on the map at all anymore. You're just dead from the use of the Shadow Step.
They think T4s.
Yeah.
Guys,
Why not?
Your towers. Centaur's back up. Void another 15. Skewer. Sets up with the hoof stomp. This is a
Nice arrow.
really difficult person to be able to bring down. They've got a heart. They've got a second life. They're even going to drop the RP Skewer. He might have to use Hort. He's all the way out of the fountain of bar. Can they lock him in? Shockwave, drag back. E-Blade's there. They need to make sure they keep him in the fountain.
Happening?
Oh no, what's going on? Nullifier. They'll kill him off. They don't have Chrono. Is Skewer back up? It is. They should be able to keep him there. Are they going to be able to hold this? No, apart. He tries to haunt away, but they're all inside the fountain. The throne, it's exposed. James is trying to go to work. It's falling low. They got to get outside the base, and they will be able to do so. As Van, he's now going to end up losing his life, instantly getting rid of the Aeon Disc. No buyback on your Veno, but Southfield, they hold.
I'm very confused because Phoenix was right there at the mid lane, at the stairs, heading up to the tier 3 towers. At any point, you could have gone in and used the Sunray. Just, you know, you don't even need to be right in there. You know that they're going to be using skewers to keep the Spectre in the base, so why not just Sunray him? Make him live that little bit extra, and that probably would have been enough. Like, you don't even need to commit the DK to that. He just needs to continue on hitting the throne. You probably take it out, and that's even without Supernova being taken into the equation. So I don't know, Grims just felt kind of AFK when that was happening. Are you in shock? Is that what's happening?
I'm in shock. I'm just like, what's going on? What's going on? What a crazy game. We've got I mean, Radiant, 2 full sets of racks advantage, throne exposed, but they're down 2 heroes. You're not going to have to buy back here on the Spectre. He's up in about 17. But
If South Built win this game, this could be like the heist of the century. Like, they had no position to win this game based off of all those buybacks.
all right. That's a pretty important target to bring down. He's got a buyback, but we've seen the overgrowth factor, even just the E-Blade as well, in the Chrono. They didn't have to commit too heavily as well to find that kill. So,
You gotta be careful. You don't have buyback. You might be a big, scary dragon, but I mean, you're not gonna stop them from taking your racks there.
well, we've got the mid racks now evened up advantage-wise. Wow, 50 minutes in and we have an even net worth game. What's the probability saying? Oh, look at that. 59% for Cignal.
That seems so weird. Like, it was down at like 70% when Void had bought back already, and when I believe AA and Centaur had also bought back, and it was still favoring South Build. But now, after Spectre's gone and died in the fountain, it's like, you know what? I think they've got a chance.
What about you? How you feeling about this? I mean, it's pretty, at least net worth-wise, even. Who you think has the advantageous position right now, 51 minutes into this game 1?
Let's have a look at the levels.
Lucky find.
Mag's almost
Backtrack
30.
would be kind of nice on Bensoy. And the Chronosphere AoE, I mean, against a Phoenix, it's always amazing to be able to have. Same sort of thing with the Trio Protector. Means that he needs to be super defensive with all of his positioning, but luckily enough for him, he didn't have to use the buyback, and now he's reached up onto that level 25. He's using AoE Living Armor. Who did that hit onto? Is it a creep wave? Oh no, it was just the bottom tower.
Smoke
Yeah,
up.
you could get a 4-man Chrono.
They're really disconnected right now. Void's got a little bit of backup on Bob, but they're making sure they're split away from a solid multi-hero RP, as Bob's going to fly on forward. At least that ultimate's used to try and protect the face as Void, but now with the blink in, Kameo finds multiple. This is the ultimate on cooldown now, but the Chrono committed,
Just
finds
on one.
both. The Aeon Disc instantly perks off a Nullifier with the Ice Blast connection as well. Jamesy has to pop the BKB, 4,600 health, but are they able to bring down all this DK's life pool? They'll try and get the jump on forward with the backline of Bar. He's zoning away the extra damage that's required from Ben Soy. A time work once again back defensive. He needs the rest of the team to be able to keep the Faces Void alive, but he's actually going back in. Ben Soy, you crazy man. They're going to try and drop the Supernova, but the Abyssal Blade's out to lock him in with the E-Blade follow as well. They're unable to deal with the egg. No, but the Sun Ray burns him to a crisp. They'll lose the Mirana. So Mayo's going to end up falling as well. All you have to do is hope that South Built have buybacks for another crazy defense. But they are 4 down.
Man, just little bits of luck there. I think he got 1 bash onto the Phoenix. He gets 1 more. I think that fight could go very differently in South Build's favor, because Grims, he didn't have buyback. He had used absolutely everything, but he was able to get that second Sunray off, that second Supernova that they needed to turn things a bit more in their favor. Oh man, what a back and forth game. Eris, he's just going to make sure that this bottom lane isn't too much of a factor. 1 buyback being used here, but Bob, what are you doing? Your team is dead!
Oh, Bob, no! BKB! Okay, he's got a buyback. He did pop BKB though. So, you're not going to have this for the fight. They've got Glyph on Dire. I mean, no Chrono as well for what, another 65 seconds. Roche is up potentially in a minute. Oh, no bueno.
Dire's bottom tower is under
There's
attack.
still a tier 1 bot. There's still a tier 1 actually. What are we, 53 minutes in, and all this bloodbath team fight action that we're getting here? No one's taking the tower.
Dire's
No one
bottom
at all.
tower has fallen.
Alright, who's that terminology for?
Dire's bottom tower is under
Jobizi?
attack. Dire's bottom tower
I mean,
has
I guess
fallen.
the Ice Blast kill threshold would be nice. He's sitting up onto his level 24, so not
Dire's
quite
bottom
yet.
tower
Centaur?
Again, you still got to stay in Fountain.
Dire's
Like,
structures are fortified.
I've endured
Alright,
worse.
all buybacks. So careful now, Dire. They just have 5 lives, whereas Radiant, they've got 8 with their buybacks available. Ice Blast used without the chrono.
Ice Blast.
They're trying to poke and prod down Jamesy. They forced the BKB, but now with the overgrowth, where's the extra control? A refreshing
There's
use
the
as well,
satanic.
but Bob is going to skew with the back. They do with the Faceless Void. He's down. That's a dieback for him. Bob as well, just getting completely controlled. The slows through the BKB. He'll drop the RP, but Eris an instant follow-up. And that should be all she wrote. Spectre, he doesn't care that he's so disconnected from the team. 5,300 health. Some more all chats, but my boy Jobeezy, you're out of this game, son. You're gonna end up losing game 1, 55 minutes in, no buybacks. GG's are called.
It was lag, guys. It was lag. That was the only thing that ended up deciding that game. But that was 2 fights in a row. Well, not in a row, but 2 key fights in this game where Satanic was not popped when Overgrowth was on that Faceless Void. And so he's just standing there being useless for essentially 5 seconds. And I'm not sure if he doesn't know that the Satanic was changed around so that you can actually use the basic Dispel there. But I mean, it's pretty key. Like that was a big turnaround if he was able to get that off and, you know, try and do some damage in that team fight. But wasn't meant to be the case. Honestly, though, it was a lot closer than I thought it would be coming into this game. Like somehow, South Built had a shot in this game, but just wasn't meant to be at the end of it all. 55 minutes, Cignal Ultra. They win round 1 of the Rambulan, but there's round 2 and maybe round 3 left to go.
I was also very impressed with the fact that South Built were even able to make a game out of that with, you know, especially Ben Soy's Void. Like that lane just, I was thinking incredibly difficult with how they set up. You know, you had the Venomancer, the Train Protector lane. It just took over. But the fact that you're able to kind of have the follow-up with the Magnus in power to at least keep him, you know, online and steady. And in the end, it was a big X factor here. I thought he just wasn't going to be a hero in this game. But, and what a game 1. What a game 1. 49 to 34 kills. You take a look at the graph as well. Such a up and down cliff we have on all the graphs there, and that's just, if there's anything like what we're going to see in, you know, game 2, potentially game 3 as well, I am just incredibly excited.
Oh yeah, for sure. More of that, please. that was entertaining. You know, it might have been a little clowny at times, but I mean, it was some really solid performances coming out. Most notably from, I would say, Abat, Eris, Grims. They all played fantastic.
Quite the overall performance there. You know, Cignal Ultra taking game 1 here, and now again, South Built, they potentially might be our 3rd team eliminated on the first day of the qualifiers. Let's see if they're going to be able to hit back hard in the second game to force a game 3. We'll be back shortly with more Cignal Ultra versus South Built.